Time to review this puppy. G'day everyone, welcome to the Fisherman's Office, and in this video we're going to go through my cod small water short rod setup that I bought approximately a year ago. So it's the first gear review I would have done on the channel, so thanks a lot for joining in with that one. If you are new to the channel, it's your first time here, my name's Lee and I upload quite regularly on the channel, so if you're thinking about hanging around and want to stick with us, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload another video. So without further ado, we'll get stuck into this review and I'll go from there. Now, I've got a few notes down here, so you will see me peeking down here a bit just so I don't miss any details. I want to make sure that I cover everything well for you guys in this video. So yeah. Now, I bought this about almost a year ago. I've been using it in my skinny water sessions, a couple of times with Mark in the boat as well. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this setup and it has definitely withstood the test of time. So I'll go through, the specs, the positives, some negatives as well, and some things I would have changed. Also touch on some line and my favorite lures to cast with this rod as well. So the specs are, it's a 5-foot 9-inch one-piece blank. It's composite material, so it's not true graphite, but it's obviously made for a price point, so they're using synthetic materials to emulate a graphite blank. So that's pretty much it. The medium size is 4 to 7 kilogram, and its casting weight is between 6 and 45 grams. So the lightest to your heaviest sort of weights that you'd be able to cast with this rod. So diving into the positives about this rod would have to be first one off the cab, first cab off the rank would have to be the price point. The price point is fantastic. It's not the cheapest, baitcaster setup you can buy, but as far as, what I've got out of it this year, I can tell you now that it's definitely worth that couple of extra dollars just to get that thing. The retail cost of this was $239.99. Okay, so that's what I bought it for about a year ago. It's now currently on BCF online at $189, so it's even more value there for you. Considering what I know now, I would buy another one of these in a heartbeat. If this was to break or something like that, I'd definitely buy it again. Touching on its durability, I'm very rough on my gear, pretty much. I'm not probably as careful as what I should be with my gear sometimes. I've had this thing crashing through branches of trees and stuck on trees and getting frustrated with snags and all kinds of stuff. And I'm sitting there jamming the end of the rod through the lure. It probably makes some people that, real gear freaks, cringe in horror with that sort of thing. But, it's definitely withstood some pretty good abuse in its tenure with me. So that's pretty much it. So definitely in terms of, durability, it gets a 10 out of 10 for sure. Casting accuracy is fantastic. I don't have much basis for comparison. This is my first baitcaster setup. As a rule, baitcasters are a lot more accurate to cast with anyway. But I'm, getting better and better with this thing, and I'm able to, get it into most places that I'm aiming for most times I'm casting. So can't say more positive things enough about how well this thing casts for its price point as well. Obviously, your more expensive rods, they're probably going to cast better and more smooth and things like that, just because of guide designs and the blank and things like that. As far as a reel goes for casting, I can't complain either. It's a bullet. It obviously, pardon me, it obviously has a magic, probably a weight range for the reel and the rod that casts better. Somewhere between that 20 and 30 gram mark, I would say it's probably the magic weight for this setup. My favourite lures to cast with this rod would have to be the Storm Arashi. This one I nicknamed winks because it's lost an eye. It's got one eye there. Pretty funny. This is, I think it's about 80 mil, this lure, and I've upgraded it to the I think the TN66 owner hooks there, the 1.0s, and just upgraded the rings and the hooks there. So that's probably my favourite subsurface lure to throw. Favourite surface lure to throw would be the Jackal Pompadour and TN razor, TG razor. So that's this one. This one got me my first cod on surface. This is around that 30 round mark as well. So again, in that magic sort of weight range. Again, I've upgraded the hooks and rings on this one as well. Definitely recommend this in your arsenal as far as lures go. So that's the lures that I like to throw with this rod and reel. Line, as I said, I'll touch on line. The line I started with was very, very cheap, and I was just going with a cheap mono just for ease of getting tangles out and things like that. It's probably a better choice for you. You're welcome to go with braid if you choose, you want to. I'm just telling you what I did based on my thought process with starting out. I know I didn't want to be cutting copious amounts of braid out of my reel when I'm getting a tangle, because it's the first time I've used this setup, first time I've used a baitcaster, and I know I was going to get bird nests and overspool and all that fun stuff. So yeah, so I went with a mono to start with. Shortly after that, when I got used to casting it and things like that, I moved up to a braid through suggestion from Brett at Anaconda in Bayswater here, just down the road from where I live. He told me to get onto this Major Craft Dangan braid, which is absolutely fantastic line. I use J-Braid Grand as well, which is also getting some good reviews, and at some stage I might try it in one of my bait casters to see how that goes. But as far as experience with this line goes, very, very good value for money. It's about, I think, $45 to $50 for a 300 mil spool, 300 meter spool, 300 meter spool of this. And you can pay that for 150 meters of some lines, depending on what you're looking for. But as far as price point, quality of that is very good. It casts brilliantly. It's very supple. It's an 8-strand braid, woven braid, so it's very supple and easy to tie with and things like that. And as I said before, it casts absolutely magnificently. It's also got a line diameter similar, I think, to that of around a 30-pound braid, so it's actually quite a thin diameter as well. So yeah, you can fit more of it on a spool if you wish to, so that's pretty good as well. Moving on to leader I chose initially was the Black Magic tough fluorocarbon in 40 pound, so 60 meter spool of that. And this does the job. I have no complaints about this line. I probably would pick a better quality fluoro next time, going with probably, like, if I was going to go with another Black Magic one, I'd probably go with a Tough Trace, to be honest with you. But as far as getting the job done, and this one was about, I think, $35 as well for this 60 meter spool of fluorocarbon. Worth grabbing if you have no other choices there. That's that for that. Negatives about the setup, getting back to the rod and the reel, I would probably say I don't have many negatives. I don't have a lot of basis for comparison either. So, I've got as far as the rod goes, that is. With the reel, I have comparison with the new Tatula 200 reel that I've got on my swim bait rod over there. Obviously, the feel of, the smoothness of a reel, the drag setup and all that. Obviously, you've got a massive difference in price point with those two reels. You're talking about a $399 Daiwa Tatula 200 and a $99 Black Max 3, which is, just a hell of a lot cheaper reel. So you're going to have some quality differences there. But as far as, value for money, casts fantastically, holds up to fish. I've caught plenty of fish on this. It's a great reel, worth having. As just as a thought process for me, what would I change? I was thinking to myself, if I was to go out and buy another one of these setups, I'd probably go with a slightly longer rod. I'd probably go with a 6'6" or something like that, only because I'm used to that length. I've got 6'6" spin rods that I've used for years, and that was just a go-to length for me. Probably would go just as well in the skinny stuff that I that I've been fishing with this setup as well. But I think it might aid in a little bit more casting distance. Having said that though, this thing casts a mile for its length. Like, I was very surprised, and so are friends of mine who have, you know, really good quality gear, who have seen me casting with this setup, are sort of a little bit baffled as to how good this thing casts. So might be just this rod and reel, I'm not too sure. If you have any similar experience with this rod and reel, let me know, because I was actually pleasantly surprised with how well this casts. So yeah, and if I was to, you know, pick a length as far as, you know, a preference would go, I'd probably go with a 6'6" or something like that. Just something a hair longer, might aid in a bit more casting distance with that rod. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you got some value out of it, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below if I missed anything. If you want any answered questions, please also leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, as I said before. Ring the bell to be notified when I upload another video, and we will catch you in the next one. Just keep flicking, guys.